In the tabletop role-playing game Delta Green, you play federal agents tasked with fighting unnatural cosmic horrors. You aren't heroes destined to win. You are just people standing in the way of an inevitable apocalypse. The core theme here isn't glory, it's the grim realization that the massive, complex machinery of the modern state, with all its forensic labs, its elite tactical teams, and massive intelligence networks, is entirely inadequate against the indifference of the cosmos. Your only real job is to buy humanity one more day. Look at this photo of J. Edgar Hoover at his desk. This represents the origin of the fight. Following a secretive 1927 raid on the town of Innsmouth, the U.S. government formed a unified official agency, eventually codenamed Delta Green, to secretly combat mythos threats using federal resources. That unified front collapsed in 1970. After a catastrophic, unapproved military operation in Cambodia went horribly wrong, the Joint Chiefs disbanded Delta Green entirely, but the veterans refused to stop. They went underground, operating for 3 decades as an illegal, ad hoc conspiracy of cowboys, stealing resources to quietly hold back the dark. That unified mid-century Delta Green is dead. If you are running a modern campaign, you have to choose between 2 deeply flawed successor factions to anchor your player's experience. The modern landscape was shaped in 2001. A few surviving Delta Green operatives staged a coup against a rival, corrupted deep state agency known as Majestic 12, a group that had been actively making deals with the entities they were supposed to fight. When the dust settled, the old conspiracy shattered into 2 entirely different organizations. Some agents accepted government amnesty and formed the Program. They took over Majestic's old assets, regained their official Special Access Program status, and embedded themselves deep within the budgets of agencies like the FBI, NSA, and CDC. Other veteran agents looked at the program and saw the exact same corruption. They refused to come in from the cold. They became the Outlaws, an illegal, completely unsanctioned conspiracy operating entirely off the grid. Deciding which of these 2 factions your players work for dictates the mechanics, the available resources, and the entire tone of your RPG campaign. The program operates with the full backing of the post-9/11 national security state. Their official Special Access Program status gives them a massive logistical advantage. Look at this aerial view of the NSA headquarters complex. This is the scale of the program's backing. They can requisition cutting-edge laboratory analysis, generate airtight federal cover identities, and even call in Coral Nomad, a heavily armed, specialized military recovery team when a situation escalates. But utilizing that black budget leaves a paper trail. Every dollar spent and bullet fired subjects agents to intense bureaucratic oversight. The Outlaws have none of that. They operate without a single cent of official funding. They rely entirely on forged documents, stolen cash, and calling in favors from a dwindling network of friendly contacts. When an outlaw needs gear, they visit a green box. These are abandoned, cash-rented storage units left behind by dead agents, stuffed with unorganized paperwork, rusty weapons, and occasionally dangerous occult relics. This grants them total operational autonomy from the government, but it enforces extreme scarcity. Outlaws are constantly fighting the unnatural with expired body armor and whatever weapons they can fit in the trunk of a car. The program forces your players to fear their own accountants. The Outlaws force your players to fear running out of bullets. When a crisis hits, the program hides in plain sight. They assemble official joint task forces and utilize legitimate intra-agency cooperation to move their people into place. In gameplay, this means program agents can flash real badges. They can legally cordon off a crime scene, compel local police officers to step down, and command federal forensic labs to analyze evidence. Yet this visibility acts as a beacon. Official task forces draw the attention of deep state corporate contractors like March Technologies, who actively monitor federal channels and will gladly hijack a program operation to secure alien technology for profit. The Outlaws survive through absolute operational security. They utilize a strict cellular structure, where agents only know the members of their own cell and a single contact above them. They coordinate through encrypted burner phones and dead drops. They maintain strict anonymity to ensure that if one cell is compromised, the rest of the conspiracy survives. This photo of exhausted soldiers navigating a smoke-filled jungle trail captures the grim reality of isolated operations. In 1969, an off-the-books Delta Green mission in Cambodia went completely wrong, resulting in massive casualties and the agency's official disbandment. The Outlaws rely on absolute secrecy, precisely to prevent that kind of exposure again. The program's methods risk corporate espionage and betrayal from within the system. The Outlaws' strict compartmentalization protects the conspiracy, but it guarantees that agents go into the field almost entirely blind. The most significant division between these factions is their ideology. The program believes the only way to defend America is to study, understand, and eventually harness the unnatural. Your program handlers will frequently order players to capture entities alive. They will demand that dangerous artifacts be cataloged and sent back to the research division instead of being destroyed. Preserving the unnatural is a moral hazard. By bringing these items into their labs, the program risks internal corruption, slowly transforming the agency into the exact kind of threat they were built to hunt. The Outlaws reject this completely. Their ideological goal is the absolute scorched earth annihilation of the unnatural. Look at this image of the Tunguska blast site, where hundreds of square miles of forest were flattened. This is the scale of destruction the Outlaws are willing to inflict. Their standing directive is simple: kill the threat, burn the book, bury the ashes, and leave absolutely zero evidence behind. Maintaining that purity comes at a heavy cost. Destroying valuable intelligence keeps the world safe, but it forces agents into acts of brutal vigilante murder that rapidly alienate them from the humanity they are trying to protect. The program demands complicity with the unnatural. The Outlaws demand agents sacrifice their own humanity to destroy it. Ultimately, the program is an engine for generating the horror of complicity, while the Outlaws generate the horror of isolation. To choose a faction, match their mechanics to your table's preferred playstyle. For a techno-thriller experience focused on bureaucratic maneuvering, official cover-ups, and massive government resources, you should run the program. But if your group prefers pure, desperate survival horror, relying entirely on their own wits to survive, you should run the Outlaws. The narrative payoff depends on that choice. Discover your well-funded bosses are the true villains, or realize they are entirely alone in the dark, with no one coming to save them. Neither faction offers salvation. There are no happy endings for anyone involved. Your choice is how they face the end of the world, with a badge and a lab coat, or a burner phone and gasoline.